I'm back. I'm sorry it's been so long. I'm gonna try to recommit to posting and programming every day, even if it's just 5 minutes. I fell off the wagon for over a week, but I did have a lot of stuff going on, but 5 minutes should be doable no matter what, so we're here. Let's do this. Let's make sure we're not letting vultures be collided upon by our player until they're done spawning. So I guess we can find where we are checking enemy collisions with our ostrich. Oh god. You guys, it's getting real tough to sift through. I guess it's in our ostrich class and it's colliding with ostrich. So it's like, we have a logic for when we collide with the ostrich, but we need that to not go on. We need that to not happen if the vulture is spawning. So yeah, it's only if our spawning is false, our vulture spawning is false, that we want to actually check this collision. So we're cycling through every vulture. And if we're not temporary safety, then it's checking the collisions. But we need to also say that it only checks for the collisions if the vulture the vulture's dot spawning is false. That's the only time we need to check these collisions. So I think we need to indent this whole block. Yeah, I think we need to indent this whole block and then say if vulture dot spawning is equal to false, then do all that logic. And if it's true, it won't do that logic. And that's all of our ostrich to vulture collision. So let's see if we run our game and we see an ostrich spawning there. Oh, I fucking missed it. Here, I got an idea. We'll go up here, mother. We'll go here and we will spawn a vulture and then collide with it. Cool. So yeah, it did some weird shit Oh yeah, that looks right. So it looks like we did fix that. I'm just a little confused why it moved us. See how it moved us? It just moved us and swapped our direction. I don't know why that happened. Okay. So look, if we're like right here, spawn it. See how it moved us? See, that's a fucking... Why is it that the egg goes up there? I thought this would fix that bug. For some reason, the last... Fuck. For some reason, the last... No. Nope. Okay. See that? Why does that happen? If we collide with a vulture, did all three come from the bottom that time? Why does that happen? Egg goes to the top right if we kill him, like... There's something that we're moving the egg. Oh, fuck. It's almost like I want to see if... See, because like, why is the egg right there? Why is it on screen? Because it would make sense that it would be in the top left, the very, very top left, outside of the screen. Because of the graveyard situation we're doing, moving the vultures there upon deletion. But why is it still on screen, is my question. So what if we... Maybe in our vulture class we'll see our graveyard logic. Really? Maybe that's a play state. Here. So look, for every vulture, if the vulture's exploded, and it's the first frame exploded, we're going to spawn an egg. See, look. Vulture. What if we multiply this by 2 and multiply this by 2 so it's a bigger negative number so that the vulture's graveyard is even further off screen? Does that change where the egg spawns when we get this error here? No, it doesn't. So why is it doing that? It must be something in our egg spawn. Vulture.egg spawn. Let's see what that is looking like. See, look. I'm kind of curious if we took this out an episode or two ago because I didn't like the idea of the logic, but it might have fixed something. But let's see. I think what I had there was because, well, yeah, doesn't I got fucked there. Doesn't fix our problem. I'm so confused why that's happening. This is, I think, one of the reasons why people don't like scripting languages for video games, because we don't have a true debugger. Ideally we can kind of step through the lines of code and see what's happening, but we don't really have that capability in Lua, I don't think. So what do we do? Where is it? Why is it spawning the egg up there? Has to do with the eggs, X and Y, right? Not sure how to fix that. Why would it be moving it not on? Fuck, man. This is getting real tough. What could be putting the egg over there? It's upon a collision. So are we changing, you know, on our enemy collision, if we're colliding, if we're side colliding, are we doing anything to the... So hard to look at this code, man. So look, this is the top collides, the bottom collides, the left collides, the right collides. I don't like that we use the same logic twice, but they're for different functions. No. Shit. We could do an OR there to include that, because it looks like we're doing the same thing. But, oh my god, this is so tough to... My brain is just like, it'll get like one step into thinking about the problem and then it just like gives up because it's so complicated. At least looking at all the code. We're doing something to the egg upon a collision that shouldn't be happening. We're moving the eggs X and Y, or the eggs last X and last Y is getting triggered incorrectly, causing the egg to be in the wrong spot like that. So why does that happen? So if we just look at one side of our collision logic, this determines it what way we're facing. So basically, we're facing right and Vulture's facing right, then self-exploded gets true. Now why? Oh, that means we get exploded because it was a left collision. Okay, then if we're facing left, and the vulture's facing left, and there's a left collision, then we need to explode the vulture. So we trigger it to be exploded. We set the first frame exploded to be true. So, where are we doing this? First frame exploded logic. Not anything in the update function, but here in our play state. If we're first frame exploded, we'll spawn an egg, and we'll trigger first frame exploded to be false because the egg is spawned now. So if egg spawn is true, what happens? For egg spawn, then if we're grounded, we give ourselves a .egg instantiation at a last x and a last y. If we're not grounded, we give our egg an instantiation at our last x and our last y, a little lower. Because I felt that the egg was spawning too high upon the air. But yeah, I'm kind of with my old self with, let's just turn this off for now. So if we're egg spawn, we give ourselves an egg instantiation. So now if I change this to be, I'm just going to add a 0 to both of these, okay? Now I'm going to see if that affects the top left of the egg when the egg spawns on the top left. Okay. So it's not where the egg gets instantiated. It's like where the explosion is getting instantiated, because the explosion didn't move. You know, the explosion and the egg should be both tethered to the last, the egg's last x and last y. So where are we doing this explosion? Okay. See, we're doing it at, see, this is the problem. Our last x and our vulture's last x and last y are not being set appropriately upon that certain condition. If it's already spawned, it sets it correctly. So is there some time we're updating our last x and y, and it's only if it's not spawning? Yeah. It's only if we're spawning we're updating our last. We need to update our last x and last y regardless of spawning logic, but not irregardless of our exploded logic. So if we are spawning, so the reasoning here is that if we're spawning, then do this, else if, yeah, so if we're spawning, we're not updating our last x, but we need to do, hold on. It's almost like, what triggers us to stop updating our last x? Because upon an explosion, we need to lock in our last X and Y. That's why it's called last. So if we're not spawning and we're not exploded, then update our last X. But that's not quite right. We need to, we just need to say, if we're not, fuck. See, and this gets messy because this spawning code goes all the way to the bottom here. Shit, man. Okay. So we need to update this if we're spawning as well. But does that fuck up anything? We're moving our current X value into our last X position field. Same with our Y and DX if we're spawning. And then if there's a collision, we would not be spawning. It's almost like we need to set our spawning to be false upon a collision as well. But no, you can't collide when they're spawning is the thing. Okay, so maybe updating our last X if we're just spawning will fix our problem. Okay. So, spawned. Yes. Okay. I don't see us getting that mistake anymore. So look, we can't collide when they're spawning, and when they do, the egg doesn't do that weird top left position because our last DX is actually being assigned when we're spawning now. I turned off our fix so I can see if yep, okay. So that does seem to fix it. We just weren't updating this if we were spawning. We had it kind of tethered in two locations. You know, we had to be not exploded. That gives us the stop. Yeah. So the thing is, the egg only needs the last DX for one frame upon that instantiation. Then if it gets updated, well, it wouldn't get updated, but okay. So that fixes it at least. Cool. Okay, so we fixed two things. We fixed the no vulture collision until done spawning, and we fixed egg bug. I just gave myself that because I wanted to give myself one more thing I did. Okay, cool. I want to see if we can do this. Start our player without spawn, only temporary safety upon death. So when we, in the game here, see how we spawn, and we have temporary safety when we should just be existing. The problem we ran into last time we tried to do this was just that every instantiation of the ostrich needs to be created at the bottom of a platform so you can rise out and have temporary safety defaulted to on, but we need to overwrite our vulture at the beginning of the game loop here. Our first vulture, right? So we get our ostrich, in our play state here, our player one here gets instantiated at the bottom of the yeah, it gets X, Y, virtual height minus the ground. Yeah, it gets started at the bottom of the ground. But here we need to say, see, and we need it not. It's almost like I want to set, you know, we need to pass in these valid arguments, but then I want to overwrite them in the init, because the init gets called once. So I'm kind of thinking that we can say player1 dot y is actually equal to, you know, I want it to be at the very top. So we're gonna say we're not the bottom, we're not spawning, you know, our y is not equal to the ground. It's actually equal to the ground minus its height. So it should be standing. But if it's standing, we need our player one's temporary safety to be false. So we're kind of overriding it here in the init function, whereas we still give it, you know, it still needs a platform y and a y, but we're overriding it to be correct right here manually in our init function. And this should only affect the very first player one, because init only happens once. Then when we get, yeah, that's, I don't know if that'll work. Let's see if we're going to be flashing and spawning. Nope. Self height is a no value. It's not self height. Player one dot height. Cool. And then if we die, we spawn temporary safety. Nice. Nice. We still need our correct egg scores. Right now they're all 250, but we need them to actually be, and only one can happen at a time, so yeah, we need to fix that too. Shit. Okay. So yeah, we need to be able to do okay, well, we got a couple things fixed, which is a good day back. We've got a lot of work to do, but we got at least a solid commit today, which I'm happy about. If we do a git diff, we can see what we changed. You know, what? We didn't change all this. That's because we indented things. But basically, we fixed two things. I'm gonna add everything to the staging area with a message saying fixed egg spawn bug, and first ostrich starts without temp safety. And then I'm gonna get Piet to our origin main, call it a day. Cool. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll get some more functionality implemented. Thanks for watching.